like in EuroNASCAR 2, the field is a little bit splitted in two halves, and the traffic will be also a key element later. We see Hasemans already passing the first back marker. So Hasemans and then Hercule, this is going to be interesting when Hasemans loses a little bit of momentum when he gets into traffic.
The gap was almost 1.5 seconds not so long ago, and the gap is now coming down. Gianmarco Ercole is hunting down in that number 54 car, our race leader. And of course, you heard the statement of intent during your interview, Andre. Win or bust is effectively the message coming from the Cal Racing pit lane today. Like Luca Lasserre was staying well out of the way in the back of shot coming out of turn 4. But Vittorio Garelli, for me, is the driver under the most pressure. As much as Ercole is closing in on Hasemans, he's only got one car behind him. Vittorio Garelli has, well, the rest of the top 10 more or less behind him at this point. 0.4 of a second now between Hasemans and Ercole at the front as well. So yeah, two battles going on here at the sharp end. One for the lead, one for third position. I don't know where to look at the moment. Vargas, of course, under equal pressure as well from Paul Giuffreau, and I must take my hat off to Paul Giuffreau. He's the leading, really complete novice when it comes to oval racing here. But you wouldn't think it, would you? He's really just taken the baton and run with it.
But I think that's part of his character. When you see him, he's always fooling around. He's having a lot of fun, and I think this approach of not stressing himself too much, enjoying the event, enjoying the time he has, is also maybe freeing him a little bit to be that fast. He's not going into a tunnel that early. I know he's really concentrated. Oh, we have Ulysse Delsaut in the pit lane. They change a tire, and I think on the right side you see a punctured tire. So Ulysse Delsaut out of the race at the moment. I think he will be back in action, but they had to replace the tire that deflated. So a puncture for Ulysse Delsaut. But back to Hasemans, I think his approach is a really good one, but Ercole, he's closing in.
We did see a slow Speedhouse car going around the outside of turn 4 at one point. I thought it was Lasserre getting out of the way. It might have been Delsaut suffering a puncture instead. But nonetheless, yes, Gianmarco Ercole definitely closing in. I'm wondering as well, in that battle for third place, whether Vargas and Giuffreau are maybe just playing the waiting game for now, not taking too much out of their tyres, and looking to challenge for the podium later on. We're approaching lap 30 of the race. We're over a quarter of a way through already. We went 70 laps, all green flag yesterday in EuroNASCAR 2. So far we've stayed green in EuroNASCAR Pro as well. You see some of the drivers really testing the wall on the outside of turn 4 as they push for those minute improvements lap on lap on lap. It's all about consistency here, staying focused, keeping control, not seesawing at the wheel so as to not take too much out of these Hoosier tyres. And well, Ryan Vargas said if I had another 20 laps yesterday, I would have gotten my second position that he was fighting so hard for with Claudio Remeggio Capelli. Today he's fighting for one step lower on the podium, but can you imagine what it would mean to the US-based fans, to 3F Racing and Ryan Vargas' sponsors, if they could be on the EuroNASCAR Pro podium this weekend as well?
That would be a huge step for Ryan Vargas. But what we see again is, if you're a NASCAR driver from the US with Xfinity Truck Series experience, that doesn't make you the top driver in European NASCAR racing, even on an oval. This is very interesting to see that we have so much talent also on ovals here in Europe with Girelli, with Ercole, with Hasemans. They really show that the level is really high in the NASCAR Wheel and Euro Series. And of course, the ladder is at some point, maybe you go from Europe to the US to compete in NASCAR races. And I think what we see here right now, that a lot of top drivers and a little tap to that's what Giuffreau was it? Sorry, I just messed it a little bit up. But Giuffreau tapped a little bit Vargas, and then he got past. That was a really interesting situation. Sorry for my little bit, messed up the names, but it was a really interesting situation, Adam.
It looked to me like Vargas was loose potentially before the little tap from Giuffreau there. I think he might have overtook corner entry, but I'm not sure. Nonetheless, Vargas demoted then to 5th position. That's a big blow for him, and it's a big assist for Vittorio Garelli, because suddenly he's got 3 or 4 car lengths between himself and the drivers behind. That could be very useful, although it could also be eradicated the next time they come across lap traffic. Speaking of lap traffic, Liam Hazeman's has a good amount of it in front of him at the moment, and that's going on while Gianmarco Ercoli hunts the young Dutchman down. 2 of our champions, of course, from last year. Junior Trophy champion in 2023 was Liam Hazeman. He was the EuroNASCAR 2 champ the year before that. And, of course, Gianmarco Ercoli is our defending EuroNASCAR Pro champion. Yet to get a win on the board, of course. And he will be very keen, not just to take the win, but also to prevent Liam Hazeman from taking his 3rd win of the season. Why is that? Is there particular animosity between them? Well, no, but the last thing he wants is 2 runaway drivers in the form of Garelli and Hazeman's building a gap before we go into the double points playoffs in the last 2 events of the year.
And also, Ercoli had a really decent pace in the past at Raceway Venray, but he never nailed it. He never was on the podium here. His best finish is a 4th place from 2016 and a 6th place from 2017. That were the only top 10 results. Every races he, the other races he finished outside of the top 10. He had many issues here, so this could also be his first podium, even if he stays in 2nd. So Ercoli, yeah, he has a very interesting relationship to Raceway Venray that may turn a little bit better today.
Let's hope so. Vladimiros Siortzis still not finding his way past Thomas Chrysonis at this stage. I can almost feel the frustration peeling off the number 1 car at the moment. Downhauer and Neumann have joined the queue as well now, so what was a 2-car scrap with Siortzis trying to find a way by has now become a 4-car scrap, and Downhauer is looking particularly racy here. He lauded the promotion team's efforts, of course, promotion having not raced here previously. As to the inside there, look, Victor Neumann in the Marco Stipp 47 car. Yeah, Downhauer seems to be using his equipment very well at the moment. He's yet to make up a place from his 10th on the starting grid. Good start, good run out of 2 there from Vladimiros Siortzis. We got to look at Martin Dubek there watching on in the grandstands, unfortunately. But Siortzis for a moment looked like he might have a drag on Chrysonis going into turn 3. But again, the impact of coming off the high line onto the back straight is really huge. Again, it looked like Siortzis had at least a quarter panel on Chrysonis there, but then Chrysonis just gets a couple out of mile an hour more coming off the banking.
I see now an advantage of Victor Neumann if he plays it well. He's now lining up behind Ercoli, because we heard Dejan Grabac, the race director, before in the pre-race show, and he said all the drivers who's going to be lapped, they have to go down, and Victor Neumann already let the leaders by, so he can now line up behind them, because those 3 here, they have to go down very, very soon, and he has now the advantage. Look at this, Tobias Downhauer, he squeezed down to the lower line, and Victor Neumann maybe now take advantage and just go by with Ercoli.
Rather engrossed in his own battle here is Vladimiros Siortzis. I don't know if he realises that it's the leader behind him, but he really needs to before too long. We saw a 5-second penalty for not obeying blue flags, not allowing the leader through earlier. Siortzis now realises and allows him through. Chrysonis goes low as well. Probably wise thinking there to try and retain that gap over Siortzis while also letting the others through, letting the lead pair through. Interesting stuff going on here at the front of the order. They came across a big pack of cars fighting there, and that fight resumes now. Chrysonis, Siortzis, Neumann bumper to bumper, and Neumann managed to get past Downhauer in all of that, as you suggested. Was very wise to let the leaders through, and then simply managed to get past Downhauer and move himself up into the top 10. Good stuff, Victor Neumann.
Yeah, definitely. That was a strategy. I saw him moving down early, and then he just connected to Ercoli's car, and he never opened the gap. He never let the gap open, and that was what helped him getting past Downhauer. That was a really clever move by Neumann. It just worked for one pass, almost also with Siortzis, but that was really, really clever.
Now he's got a grandstand view as Siortzis continues to investigate his options to get past the Marco Stipp Motorsport car of Thomas Chrysonis. It's Greece versus Cyprus in this battle for 8th position. Again, Siorts is just looking for the inside line. Such has been the unfortunate nature of his season sometimes this year. A top 10 would be definitely a move in the right direction for Vladimiros Siortsis, but if he can make up some more places, maybe go hunting for some of the positions further up the order, that would be great for him also. I get the impression that Siortsis has a quicker car. He's just not able to find a way around Chrysonis. Dauenhauer has closed in again on this queue of cars as well. So Dauenhauer investigating his options. What's the gap between the leaders this time by? It was 0.7 of a second a lap ago. What is it now? It's still almost exactly, or it is exactly 0.7 of a second between Hazemans and Erkeli.
Yeah, there may be something coming. It depends on what Hazemans is doing with his tires, if he can save them. You've heard it in the pre-race show that Luca Lasser said you always want to have some tires left, because 100 laps on those Hoosier tires is a managing game. You cannot push too hard. You have to manage the tires, and if you have them worn out at the end, the other guy behind you, when he has some tires left, he may get past you. So it's not only your tires. And Zortzis, he looks so racy, but he also has to keep in mind, if he goes down in the lower groove, he may get passed by Victor Neumann. So he's managing his attacks right now, but now it's Neumann's turn. He dives to the inside. That may open also the door for Dauenhauer to take the place back if Neumann doesn't get back up to the outer groove. Now they are side by side. This is Dauenhauer's advantage right now.
Yeah, Dauenhauer with the favoured high groove coming out of turn 2. Neumann's really going to have to do something special to hold on to this from here. Dauenhauer has a nose ahead. He has a car ahead. Neumann drops down. That's almost exactly what happened to him yesterday in EuroNASCAR 2 while fighting for the podium with Ryan Vargas. He will not be pleased with that. Thomas Hoffel just behind them in 12th position. He just found himself up in the wall a lap or so ago, coming out of turn 4 as well. So he's getting his Venray stripes, like many of them have done across this weekend. Some more lap traffic up ahead in the form of the 77 car of Konstantin Schul. Word to Konstantin, he started at the back and he's up to 15th position. So the Oval Racing debutant, very experienced sports car racer, putting in a good shift at the moment as he gets out of the way of that battle for 8th position. Meanwhile, Paul Dufresne on the rear bumper once again of that number 24 car of Vittorio Garelli for that final podium position. This could be a big swing in the championship with Garelli behind, or Garelli behind in 3rd place, and potentially facing not finishing on the podium if Dufresne or Vargas can get through. Garelli in that 24 car has had an immaculate season so far since switching over to PK Carsport, of course. We've seen Anthony Kumpen go great guns here in years past in the NASCAR Wheel and Euro Series at Venray, and of course he's the man behind that PK Carsport team. So there's every reason to believe that the PK Carsport car should be quick here. It was quick here in qualifying. Garelli has been impressive this year. Given that qualifying performance, given Garelli's immense confidence this season in himself and indeed in his machinery, do you think he's a little bit disappointed to only be running 3rd right now?
Yeah, definitely. He wanted the win so bad. He was so quick in qualifying, but yeah, just a little bit of a tangle there in the beginning, a little bit of a tap, and everything changes, and now he has to adapt to the situation. But it's very interesting. We are now 133 consecutive caution-free laps here at Raceway Venray. Everybody who was expecting a wreckfest at the Oval wasn't proven wrong. We have very clean, very respectful racing. Zortzis tries it again. He sees that the gap to Dauenhauer is big enough to try and then move up to the outside lane again. This is very clever to talk to your spotter to see where the gap is to your chases, and if the gap is big enough, you can try it. You can throw one attack, and now he's trying it again. He's side by side with Calzones. Zortzis now with a little bit more momentum. Can he stick? Can he make it happen this time in turn 3 to turn 4? If he doesn't get it done, he may lose one more position because Dauenhauer is now right behind Calzones.
Downhauer here is just inheriting positions, isn't he? He's around the outside of Siortzis, and he has indeed gotten past Vladimiros Siortzis for what is now 9th place. So Downhauer up to P9. He's just inheriting positions when people make attacks, isn't he? They go low, he stays high, and he goes by. That's the pattern at the moment for promotions. Downhauer, Neumann looking racy and aggressive as well. Something of a powder keg, I think, developing here in this battle for 8th position. You just get the feeling something has to give in this 4-car battle eventually, especially when the drivers continue to make attacks and then lose out. That builds the frustration, and they have to try and keep a cool head if they possibly can. And I note that just behind them now is the battle for 3rd place. Gorelli, Dufro, Vargas are closing in on this 4-car train, which means once again they now have to handle traffic management. They have to think about when and how to let the battle for 3rd place through.
And what we say always on German television when we commentate the NASCAR Cup Series and NASCAR Xfinity Series, this NASCAR racing on ovals, it's high-speed chess because it's so strategic. You have to make clever moves. You cannot just attack. You have so many factors impacting your pace, the tires, and also the groove on the racetracks. You have to be very clever. That's why we call it high-speed chess at 200 kph here at this short track. So you have to be really, really clever. You cannot make any single mistake. And now we see when they let the guys by on the lead lap, how they now line up behind them, because there's a big pile of cars.
Very big pile of cars. Here comes Downhauer. Now he's going on the offensive for the first time, and he gets by Chrysonis. Now he just needs to try and get high. He does so, and he gets up and past Chrysonis into 8th position. Thomas Chrysonis now will have to yield as well, because here comes the battle for 3rd place directly behind him on his rear bumper. But Tobias Downhauer has been making searing progress so far in this motor race. Tobias Downhauer up to 8th position, and Gorelli under pressure still from Dufro and indeed from Vargas. Looked like Neumann was on the offensive against Siortzis. Yes, he is. Victor Neumann trying to get past Vladimiros for 10th position. Has he got the run out of the corner? Unfortunately, the other Marco Stipp car is inadvertently giving Vladimiros a bit of a tow at the moment, to the detraction of his teammate in the 47 car. They're still side by side. Neumann was almost side by side for a lap there with Vladimiros Siortzis, but he has to give way eventually. But Downhauer has a really good car underneath him. He's just driven away now from Chrysonis since he's gotten past. I get the impression that if he'd got a better qualifying, he could have been quite a bit higher up the order by now.
Yeah, definitely. The pace is there, and you see who joins the battle. Thomas Toffel is there at the back of Neumann. Now the next attack, Siortzis versus Chrysonis the next time, and Neumann now tries to close the gap to Chrysonis. Maybe then he can swallow just the car of Vladimir Siortzis, the number 1 car. This is now really high-speed chess.
It really is, and I'm seeing more and more, especially when they go low, more and more slip on the rear. It's getting loose on the rear. Siortzis loses out there to Neumann, and here comes Toffel now to the inside of Siortzis as well. So Thomas Toffel could have a top 10 out of this at the moment. He's in the right queue to try for it at the very least. 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th in one long queue, and I think Luca Lasser is just behind them as well. No, yes, I think that is Lasser. So an interesting scrap developing for 9th place. Really, Chrysonis has been the meeting point for everybody today, hasn't he? He's where people go to have a fight, which I'm sure is a role he doesn't really enjoy.
And there's the leaders coming again. I saw Hazemans, I also saw Blake Mullen. So I think we just have 5 cars in the lead lap left in a few minutes.
That really shows quite the pace at the front of the order. Hazemans and Erkele have barely dropped pace since this race began. They're still running in the low 20s at the moment. They were running low 20s at the start as well. 19, maybe dipping into the 19s just about, but it was 20.0s, 20.1s. They're now still running around in the 20.4s at 4/5 distance. We are on lap 80 of the race as we speak, just going on to lap number 81, and Hazemans, yes, is closing on Blake-Emolen, and Blake-Emolen in turn is trying to lap this 3-car scrap between Chrysonis, Neumann, and indeed the number 1 car of Vladimir Osiortis. Neumann now going low against his own teammate, of course. The Marco Stipp Motorsport 46 and 47 cars side by side, and again Neumann is going to lose out here, going low. And he needs to now stay low, of course, because of the lap traffic just behind him, but I don't think he quite realises he's too busy racing Osiortis. If you haven't already left, Andre, I know you're about to. What a race it's been so far.
Just thrilling, just excited, and exciting, and I will now head down and watch it with my own eyes. So I will enjoy the last 15 laps, and then I will grab the winner. See you later.
Excellent stuff. We'll see you in victory lane, Andre. Blake-Emolen goes low to allow Liam Hazeman's pass. Hazeman's continuing to lead, and critically for Hazeman's, Erkeli now has Blake-Emolen directly in front of him, and that's going to be so frustrating for Gianmarco. He's going to be saying, "Your lap traffic too, get out of my way." The 21 car into the pits, unfortunately. Liam Lambert's EuroNASCAR debut has come to an end a little bit early there. The Lux Motorsport machine that ran very well in the hands of Davidson yesterday. Liam Lambert was talking up the potential of coming back and racing in Most, and we do hope we see him again before too long. Osiortis again taking the low groove, trying to find any way past that 46 of Chrysonis. Chrysonis, who has proven to be the most frustrating man to overtake today by the looks of it. Everyone trying to go low and find a way by, but it's just not happening. Around the outside there goes Erkeli, still trying to get past Sebastian Blake-Emolen. Blake-Emolen has had the 54 car on his right rear quarter panel for a good 2 or 3 laps at this stage. To be fair, Blake-Emolen seems to be making the low line work for him. He's keeping pace with Gianmarco Erkeli, but finally lets him through now. Blake-Emolen, who's running in 6th position. We have less than 15 laps to go, and Liam Hazeman's leads the race. Gianmarco Erkeli is in 2nd. Then it's Vittorio Garelli. Paul Givreau in 4th place. Then it's Ryan Vargas in P5. 6th is Sebastian Blake-Emolen. 7th is Mark Goossens. Tobias Downhauer in 8th place. Thomas Chrysonis in 9th. Vladimir Osiortis in 10th. And this is the battle that we see at the moment. Neumann in 11th place, desperately trying to find his way through. And then Thomas Tuffel keeping a watching brief of the battle as well. Extremely low there. I think that was Nick Strickler trying to get out of everybody's way. Paul Givreau has now fallen behind Ryan Vargas again. So Vargas is up to 4th position. Ryan Vargas has gotten back into P4. He was running down in 5th. He's now back into 4th. With less than a dozen laps to go, has Ryan Vargas got enough time to try and close back in on Vittorio Garelli? Has the 3F Racing Camaro got what it takes to make a late bid for the podium? I didn't see how he got past you, Fro, but he has done. Would the American racer love to be on the podium 2 days in a row? You bet he would. Hazeman's has it under control at the front. He's 2 seconds clear of Gianmarco Erkeli, basically. 1.856. Tuffel looking to the inside now of Victor Neumann. Can the ex-motorcycle racer from Switzerland try and find a way past Neumann? It's been a frustrating race for the drivers. They go low, and more often than not, they'll try and pass somebody and end up losing out. And Tuffel spins, and just about avoids anything hard. But that was a big moment for Tuffel. He was clearly pushing. You can see there the cement off the side of the walls. And we've gone yellow. We've gone to a caution for the first time this weekend after 91 laps in EuroNASCAR Pro. After 70 laps yesterday in EuroNASCAR 2, our first caution here at Venray, courtesy of a Thomas Tuffel spin, and that means several things. That means we're going to need a restart for the first time. That means we're going to see the choose cone in effect for the first time. And that means that anything could happen as we approach the checkered flag. Oh boy. I miss Andre. He'd have a lot to say about this right now. We're on lap 93 of the race. The top left of your screen telling you that 92 laps have been completed. We do have a format here that allows for a green flag finish at the steward's discretion. The overtime clock is available. There's also the option of adding laps to the race distance, so we might see the lap distance go up a little bit. We'll keep an eye on the news bulletin section from our stewards for that information as and when it comes. I think we may also see a wave around for a couple of drivers. The most recent driver to go a lap down would be Sebastian Bleekemolen, so he may well get his lap back, I think. We are under caution at the Raceway Venray. I thought we might just get away with it, you know. I thought we were going to stay green. But at the very last stanza of the EuroNASCAR Pro race, we are under caution. Liam Hasemans has had a fabulous race so far. The critical point of this race really was turns 1 and 2 on lap 1. Hasemans found a way to make that low line work for him on the first lap. I imagine he just threw caution to the wind, quite frankly. And then, as Gianmarco Ercoli got into the rear of Vittorio Gorelli, our pole sitter would cross the line at the end of lap number 1 in 3rd place, and he's been unable to get any further up since. He's been fighting to try and keep that podium since. Tefel, I don't know if he actually even grazed that wall on the outside. He did quite well to avoid it, but it was a big spin, and I'm sure heart firmly in mouth for our driver of the 34. Rather surprisingly, he didn't lose a single position. He was a lap clear of Leclerc, or at least some distance clear of Leclerc at the time of the caution. So he didn't lose anything from that, Thomas Tefel. You also saw Sebastian Bleekemolen there getting the wave around. So yes, indeed, Bleekemolen has now got his lead lap back. Should there be any further incident and accident, that could be a critical moment for Bleekemolen to be back there on the lead lap. Of course, the nature of that incident, there was no debris as such, so there should be a fairly brief caution. Cars now getting into the correct order. As well as the lap counter, there is also a time clock on this race, a maximum time that is permitted. We've got 9.5 minutes left on the time clock, so we've still got time to get to the checkered flag and get there racing, which I believe the officials have every intention of doing. We now get a look at how Ryan Vargas got by. So that's Vargas sneaking past Paul Dufresne. That gives me the vibe of I'd think they would stay in 4th, but that almost looked like a misgear. Dufresne just had no speed coming off of turn 2, and Vargas went back through. Safety car lights are still on, but they're formed up into 2x2 formation. Gianmarco Ercoli there on the inside line. Thought the safety car may peel in there, but that is not the case. We're just completing the 98th lap now. Safety car in this lap, so we are going racing this time. And the drivers on that high line may reap the benefits. Gorelli will be looking to try and profit off of Gianmarco Ercoli down low. Vargas will be looking to do the same to Paul Dufresne as well. Dufresne went and chose the low line to try and find his way back past Ryan Vargas. Strictly, he is ahead of Vargas for now, but let's see if that's the case as we return to racing. This is then a 2-lap dash, and immediately Urkeley gets sideways. He manages to hold on to it, though, and Paul Dufresne almost found a way by in the process of all of that. We return to racing action with a flourish there from Gianmarco Urkeley, but I think he cost himself too much time getting loose there, and Hazemans, with 1 lap to go, seems to be home free at the front. What about Vargas? He's lost out. He's with the choose situation. He's dropped himself to 5th place, and he's behind Vittorio Garelli. Garelli is off the podium and behind Paul Dufresne. Dufresne has profited. The checkered flag awaits for our winning drivers, I think. It should have come out that time. In fact, no, the race has been extended to 103 laps. That information has only just come through to me, I'm afraid. We are now on the closing lap of this race, and Urkeley, while he's closing on Hazemans, is not close enough. I was given the 1 to go, but we are now 1 to go, so I think that was given a little bit early. This definitely, for sure, is the final lap of the race. Garelli closing in on Dufresne, but he's not going to be close enough without a serious run out of turn 4. The checkered flag awaits for Hazemans. The 1 to go was definitely given far too early, but we are now finally on the final lap of the race. I can only give the information I'm given. Hazemans comes out of turn 4. The checkered flag will await him now, and he claims his first ever EuroNASCAR win on an oval. Moreover, he claims his 3rd win of the season. Liam Hazemans really does something special. We ended up with 104 laps rather than 103 eventually there, so the lap counter was off by a lap. They added laps because of the safety car, and Liam Hazemans manages to claim a win. Hendricks Motorsport claim a victory. Hendricks Motorsport have taken the win. A perfect weekend from them. The number 7 car took the win yesterday. Martin Dubeck, and Liam Hazemans, the sister car, the other Hendricks Motorsport entry, the number 50, has claimed the win at the Raceway Venray. Urkeley, Dufresne, Garelli, Ryan Vargas, your top 5. Ryan Vargas' first ever top 5 in EuroNASCAR Pro, and I'm sure he'll be happy with that. Sebastian Blakemolen 6th, Tobias Downhauer 7th, Mark Goosens in 8th, Chris Sonis in 9th, and Victor Neumann is in 10th position. Tuffel and Siortzis in 11th and 12th place. Lasser in 13th, Konstantin Schull in 14th, and Nick Strickler in 15th place. Our other 2 finishers were Gilles Delso and Gordon Barnes. Liam Lambert, unfortunately, not reaching the flag. I read that contact as, aha, we get some donuts from Liam Hazemans. I had the feeling that he wasn't able to resist. Just got the impression that he was going to do something. And sure enough, Liam Hazemans gives a little bit of a celebration to the fans in Venray. His local fans, of course. The Dutchman with a home win. All of the preparation work he did, doing some late model racing, has paid off. Ryan Vargas is not a happy man. I think that was directed at Paul Dufresne. Some drama then elsewhere in the field. Liam Hasemans celebrating a victory in style here at Raceway Venray. Andre chatting there to Liam Hasemans. Hasemans will soon be out of the car, onto the roof, and ready to celebrate. For the third time this year, Hasemans takes the 50 car to the top step of the podium, and you can see the delight for the young Dutchman. The Hasemans dynasty has always been strong. Loris is a multi-time champion, of course, in the NASCAR Wheel and Euro Series. Their older brother, Mike, a hugely successful sports car racing, and Hendricks Motorsports young prodigy Liam Hasemans adding even more Hasemans victories to the record books. You see there Gianmarco Ercoli congratulating him, his Hendricks Motorsport team congratulating him. Hasemans is really setting himself up as the primary challenger to Vittorio Gorelli. Three wins thus far in the 2024 season. And Andre, you're there. We've got you. Let's talk to Liam Hasemans.
I caught him. What an amazing race. You had to survive the last restart. That was intense, right?
Yeah, that was surviving, man. That was really surviving. But I mean, hey, that's NASCAR at its best, right? Oh, I need to catch my breath 2 seconds because it was so intense in there. But I mean, yeah, awesome job. I mean, thank you to the team. Again, I mean, you know, it's our home race, but they just give me also the perfect car for it. So just incredibly thank you to the Hendricks Motorsport team. And yeah, thank you to Gianmarco also for the battle. It was really nice. I mean, he tried it, and I stick to it. Really, I tried my maximum, but yeah, we got it at the end, so incredibly happy.
You know what's next?
Yes.
Put on the next sticker, please.
Oh, let's go. Oh.
Sweaty hands and a sticker.
For an interview?
A challenge.
Okay. No, it's nice.
Sticker on. And for a third time this year, he's a EuroNASCAR Pro winner. You've got the EuroNASCAR 2 sticker there as well, of course, from Jill Linster. That car has been to victory lane a good number of times so far this season. And it may not be the last time either. Hasemans looks really strong here. Gianmarco Ercoli is with you, though, Andre.
Yeah, we have the interview, the track interview behind us with the winner, but we have to talk to Gianmarco. We saw after the race you had an intense discussion with Vittorio Gorelli. Can you tell me why you were unhappy with him?
Yeah, because I don't like the move in the first lap. He brake a lot early for lose the second position to me and for have the advantage to Liam, because he understands I am more fast here today. And that move I don't like because I pushy, because he brake early, and I have the risk to take penalty and he to go to the wall. He don't arrive to the wall because I brake a lot. But if I don't brake a lot, sure he is in the wall. And I don't like this move. Okay, strategy. I understand. Here I don't have problem. Liam today win because he's really speed and doing a perfect race. I like, and don't worry, the championship now arrived to the finals, and I push really hard, push more hard than all my years, because I don't like that.
All right, thank you so much. Grazie mille. Congratulations still for a good race.
Thank you.
Back to you, Adam.
Well, a lot went on there at the end of that race. I can only apologise. I was fed a one to go that was false in the commentary box, but oh, goodness me. A lot of discussions are going on here today, and a lot of it is not happy. The EuroNASCAR Pro race at the Venray Oval has raised some tensions, that much is for sure. But Hasemans and Ercoli the top two, and you see there Gorelli being talked to by Ercole still at the moment. We'll try and jump in for an interview once they stop fighting each other, but yeah, tensions are high today, aren't they, Andre?
Yeah, I'm a soccer referee. I'm totally used to that. So it was just my job to get him out of there. Can you just explain me why you're unhappy with him and he's unhappy with you? Because I heard his opinion. Now it's your turn.
Yeah, basically in turn 3, he just didn't brake and he wanted to put me in the wall, you know, because I'm leading the championship. Also last race he was bumping like hell. Then when I was beside him, he cut my lane again and I had to brake, otherwise we all shunt, you know. Very stupid and dangerous driving. And then he comes to me and say I braked early, but it was the first lap. I brake in the normal braking point. But yeah, I don't care, stupid guy, you know. I won't even, you know, it doesn't touch me. It doesn't touch me. Anyway, yeah, I didn't have so much race pace because on lap 30 I had a power steer issue.
Ah, that explains why. Okay.
Yeah, I had all the race with no power steer, so it was really, really hard to. I was literally starving. So, but anyway, good points. We go for the win the next one.
All right, thank you so much. Grazie mille. Thank you for your opinion. Back to you, Adam.
Of course, that turn 3 that he's referencing was lap 1. You'll remember, frankly, that Vittorio Gorelli did an amazing job of keeping the car out of the wall at turn 3. They both have a different perspective on it. And even though I'm a neutral, I'm not willing to weigh in. You saw what you saw. And, well, the net result is some drama. Paul Giuffreau in the number 3. He finishes P3. He's with Andre.
That's what you said was right, Adam. We are just here to collect the statements. We are not there to judge. So you had a discussion with Ryan Vargas after the race. What happened there?
I don't know who he think he is. Yeah, he come, he push me, push my head. No, okay, we are in Europe, there is rules. You don't touch drivers. He brake a lot at the apex. I touched him a little bit. He was really wide. I just took the inside, and after it was too wide at the second turn. There is nothing. I had a lot of push. I didn't do like that. He was too much focused on me, and yeah, I didn't do anything wrong. So yeah, but to come to push me. Yeah, we are not in United States. There is rule in Europe. You cannot do that, and yeah, I didn't do anything wrong.
All right, thank you so much. Merci beaucoup. I think we have the next discussion right behind us, Adam, but I tried to find Ryan Vargas first. Stay. No, don't worry. All good, all good. You stay close to me. I get you later.
Well, I was about to say, I wonder if we get the entirety of the top 5 in an interview. So there's more discussions going on down there as they prepare Victory Lane in front of the main grandstand. But yeah, Ryan Vargas is apparently an interview target, and well, yeah, of course, you want to hear his perspective on what was going on towards the end.
Come here, we do it here. Okay, we need to.
The EuroNASCAR Pro race has certainly been a controversial one. Especially, seemingly, in the post-race. Here's Ryan Vargas with Andre.
Oval racing, tempers flare. Why are you unhappy with Paul Giuffreau?
He drove through me. I mean, I spent 70 laps yesterday with Claudio Capelli, not touching. We barely rubbed a little bit. Nice and respectful racing, as oval racing should be. And Paul get to my rear bumper, didn't even give me a lap, and just drove through my rear end. I mean, it's completely cracked, my rear bumper. It's destroyed. So we'll be filing a protest. I don't care. I've ran hundreds of races on ovals, and that was one of the most disrespectful moves I've ever experienced in racing. And I absolutely want everybody to know that.
All right, thank you so much for your statement.
Thank you.
Back to you, Adam.
Sharply worded from Ryan Vargas, certainly. He was 5th position. He may feel he lost an overall podium out of that. He will be on the junior podium. Of course, Liam Hasemans is a junior driver, so he'll be on the top step of 2 different podiums, the overall as well as the junior trophy. Giuffreau and Vargas are going to be on the same podium in junior trophy. We'll see what goes on there. But that was a tumultuous race for some, for sure. Thomas Chrysonis was definitely in the midst of battle, Andre.
And I found the next discussion. We have a lot of tempers flaring at the moment after an intense race. We saw an amazing battle, but you were unhappy with Vladimiros, or he was unhappy with you?
No, it's confusing because you cannot understand what we are saying.
It was just the look in your face.
No, I'm just confused. I asked him why he chose to go low and why he stayed behind the 27, because I thought the 27 was behind. He was angry with the 20. They told him from the radio to be left, and I said, okay, for me, free position. You know, I went up, I took it. There's no problem with Vlad. I just tried to understand what happened. He was angry, so all good with us. You know.
But we have the choose rule, so you have to choose which lane you want.
I was going high. I had the problem, like from the 20th lap approximately, the power steering broke, so I couldn't drive any faster. I said I will stay high the whole race. Whoever can pass me can pass me. The rest can stay behind. That was it. I pushed until the end. I toughed it out. I cannot feel my hands. All good. Now we have 2 months, cocktail, you know, vacation, swimming, things like this.
This is a completely different mood than the other interviews. That's what I like.
Fight. We have 3 races more. They can do whatever they want. I am going to Czech Republic happy. I am going relaxed. All good.
But the battle with Neumann, Dauenhauer, who was also involved, Thomas Toffel, everybody there, Tsotzis, it was just amazing, right?
Everything because of New Smyrna. I'm letting you go because I am dying and they are starting their
All right,
podium.
thank you so much. We have to go to the podium now.
Podiums ahoy, as we now get ready to see the celebrations. We already have Dufro and Erkeli up there. Hazemans to the top step. Liam Hazemans. How apropos that a Dutchman wins the first EuroNASCAR Pro race in Holland in 5 years. And we'll now hear the Dutch national anthem.
Goed, we gaan naar de volgende. We gaan nu op die mannen die moeten de fles openen, niet wij, hè? Kijk. Het volkslied, de Nederlandse volkslied.
Well, there we go. The anthems have been played and now the trophies are delivered. Paul Dufro steps onto the third step of the podium. Of the addition of the flowers to the podium ceremony for today. I believe that Liam Hazemans will get a trifecta. He'll get a trophy, flowers, and the winner's wreath. Very old school. That is a big trophy as well, goodness me. Liam Hazemans is the man of the hour here in the Netherlands. It's fair to say he's going to have to watch this back and see everything that caused all of the dramas because, well, he wasn't privy. He just drove off at the front and had his own race, but there was a lot going on behind. Some of those debriefs are going to go long into the evening. For Hazemans, Erkeli and Dufro, though, it's time to celebrate a podium. And for Liam, it's time to struggle with the cork. The third time this year, Hazemans is a EuroNASCAR Pro Race winner. If there was any doubt as to his status as one of the guys in EuroNASCAR Pro, I think we can firmly put those to bed. His debut season in EuroNASCAR 2 back in 2022 saw an electric rate of growth for the youngster. He ended up winning the championship in his debut season. The TJ Fastest Driver Award will also go to Liam Hasemans. The titanium ring from TJ Jewelry will be presented to him. But Hasemans has been a very fun guy to see develop, and sky's the limit for this young man, I feel. You have to wonder, anyone from America watching, he's good on ovals, he's very good on road courses, he's won on both. Where could his career take him? His brother Loris, multiple EuroNASCAR Pro champion, of course, racing the NASCAR Cup Series with Team Hazeberg. Next up, the Junior Trophy podium. Ryan Vargas on the third step. Paul Dufresne takes the second step of the podium. It will be a second consecutive visit to the top step as Liam Hasemans returns to victory lane. Junior Trophy presentation then is complete. They pose for the pictures. And certainly, I think Liam knows he's in the middle of something there. Next up is the Challenger Trophy.